Join discord.gg/flatearth and enter a check-in room. Someone will come along and verify you to get involved in the conversation about our Earth.
Kyle.
Kyle, are you new here, are you?
Yes.
Oh, welcome to the server.
Hi.
You a flat earther or a glober?
I'm a Glober.
No, welcome to the server, mate.
How's it going?
So, what's your number one convincing proof that you live on a spinning space ball?
I never know what to say when it's like, what's my number one proof? I think I gotta go with this though, because you guys definitely shake the reality a little hard. Is that the whole what's it like seeing different points, or what is it, shadows at different points on the Earth?
So shadows.
Is that in the game I'm playing, or is that in here?
No, it's in here.
So different angles.
Wait a minute. We're not going to tell you which one. You guess.
Yeah, no. So there's like a point on the Earth that's like the equator, and then when there's the shadow, like it won't cast a shadow in a well.
So is there any other way that that could be explained other than living in a ball?
I think I was trying to think about this because you know what? I always ask myself that goddamn question that you guys asked me just now, and like yes, but I think there's something. This is a half-formed thought. Okay, I didn't come in here with this thought. But the thought goes something like the Earth, or no, it's the combination. What is it called? Crepuscular light.
Yeah,
You know, where it's like straight lines rather than bowing out. Yeah, so
No.
that in the combination is a proof.
When do you see those?
Wait, so you see that the light is always parallel rather than crepuscular.
Well, you see it the other way. Bro, hold on real quick. You got it the other way around. You see crepuscular rays, which you don't see as collimated light, which is what...
What's collimated?
I think that's what you were looking to say. Parallel light, as in not diverging. Collimated would be in columns or parallel or straight, versus a diverging beam or the crepuscular rays. We do see crepuscular rays. That's the issue with this Eratosthenes.
But you only see it with the fucking clouds.
Not necessarily.
When it's distorted, it's been
So
bendy.
when do you see these parallel rays? Can you show us these?
When can I see parallel rays? Yeah, if you just look at like any shadow, it's going to be like a shadow. Like it's not going to have like bendy shadows and stuff like that.
The crepuscular rays aren't bendy light. It's just non-collimated light.
Maybe I just have a semantical issue.
It's okay. I mean, this is the Eratosthenes thing is something that a lot of people bring up as one of their kind of, it's presented on, if you Google like, hey, who measured the Earth? That's something that'll come up. So it's been discussed here a lot, but if you've been around for a while, you'll know. Like if you're Team Globe, if I were to represent Team Globe, put the cap on and really try my best, I wouldn't really go around saying that Eratosthenes is like proof or cold hard facts, because it's based on a lot of assumptions, and it also works on a flat surface if you were to really test it. So it's not like, because it works on a flat Earth surface or a flat surface, flat Earthers aren't using it. We're not like going, we'll see Eratosthenes. It's kind of not conclusive, I would say, for either side. So,
I'll give you a little, maybe try some homework. Try and find something that only works on a sphere that can't be explained otherwise. Maybe look for something like that and and then you could say this is proof of the globe. You know what I mean? Like
okay. Here's one that I remember.
Undeniable. You say this can only work on a sphere if I'm living on a sphere. Like, is there anything like that?
Yeah.
Something else?
So like the fact that the moon and whatnot aren't getting different sizes as they set.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Wait. Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that one a little bit further.
So they're not going in and out, right? They're not
Yeah.
shrinking.
But they do change size. So when the
Not
moon
like
comes
enough.
up over the hang on, when the moon comes up over the horizon, you get something called atmospheric lensing or magnification. Yeah, so it's going through moisture in the air because it's going through the thickest part of the atmosphere. So you get the moon comes up big because it's got atmospheric magnification. Now that is changing the perceived size of the moon. So when you say the moon doesn't change size, that's incorrect.
No, but it should get smaller if it's going away.
Yeah, well, why is it bigger then when it's on the horizon? Because that's at its furthest point, yeah?
But that's
Kyle-
something I learned in this Discord, that it's not doing that. If
What do
you,
you mean
if
it's
you
not
if
doing
you
that?
stick your
I
thumb
saw it
out,
last night. It was huge.
yeah. So if
Because
you
the
stick,
air was moist.
okay,
Wait,
I feel
wanna say
I feel
something.
like you don't want to hear what I was gonna say.
No, we
Go for it, man.
heard it before, but Kyle, like you're hitting on one of my pet peeves here, and
What's
no
that?
offense or anything. It's just that this is a common thing. People say, "Well, if it was a flat Earth, it should do this, or the moon should do that, or this should do that." I don't think that's a very good case for why you believe what you believe in. Is because if it was flat, it should do this, and it's not doing that. Like that's not a very good case. Like,
What? Why not?
well, why should the moon do what you say?
It's not what I say. It's just like things are usually consistent, right? So like I see things going away perspective wise, they change size. But I don't
Okay,
see that with the moon, so clearly it's
those
not
are-
going farther away.
But okay, fair enough. But those are things, right? We kind of those things, those objects we can identify. But what is the moon? Is it a thing? Is it an object? Does it behave like a car
What-
or these things
What-
that?
okay, but like
You're
what? So I'm thinking the moon is the thing in the sky that you can see it, and I guess the one theory is that it's a ball in the sky and it floats around and orbits,
Yeah.
right?
So it's like based off of that.
So if the moon is something else,
Yeah.
then what is it, and how is it doing that?
I would say get in line. We got questions too. Welcome to the club. But the problem is when you can't combine the two ideas and say, well, if it was flat, then it has to behave like it does as if it were a globe. And because it doesn't behave like it would on a globe, that means it is a globe. That's not a very good case for the globe or a debunking of a flat Earth claim. So if it's flat, we don't know what the moon is, bro. Like,
But I feel like you're throwing out a lot of stuff because this is an observation, right?
well, I'm not really actually throwing out anything because what you're saying is if the Earth was flat, then the moon should be doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm simply pointing out that where are you even basing off of what the moon should be doing when number one, no, you don't know what not you personally, I'm not calling you out, but I don't know what the moon is either. So no one knows what the moon is. So why should you or me or the next guy say what it should be doing? That's my issue.
Okay. So that's a good point, I think, except it doesn't. How do I put this? Like, what I'm doing is I'm making an observation. So, like, all things, cars, all things that go into the distance always get smaller. And so when I see the moon not doing that, you're right. Either it's something that I've never experienced before, or it's like everything else and it's behaving in a way and it's actually not getting that much farther away from me.
Yeah.
So I choose to believe the one where it's like tons of evidence seems to support it, and you're gonna like that's the one that like is most likely. Whereas the I don't know, it could just be anything is just not something that I think I should believe in. Because like almost anything could work that way. Like I almost got like this is what I'm saying. You got to throw out. You got to throw out like all sort of inductive reasoning. Like, hey, other things don't work the way that you think because it could just be anything. But I don't like that.
No, not necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily frame it like that, but you have a point. It's just that, like, we don't know what the moon is. So to say that it should be doing this and it isn't, therefore X, I don't think is a strong case to say, like, well, yeah, the moon should do this and it doesn't, therefore I'm going to believe this. We're not saying, like, well, you can't just trust anything, bro. It's just that the moon isn't necessarily like a car. I can go up to a car and test it and measure it and bang on it and all these things, but you can't really go to the moon and say, all right, well, it's physical. You know what I mean? So
even if the moon is doing what you say it's doing, then what's that got to do with the Earth's surface?
I forget how we got there.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so what does it got to do with the Earth's surface? So
yeah.
that one, I think it makes a big difference. So the Earth's surface. Let's see. The Earth's surface will. Oh fuck! Hold on. So the Earth's surface will.
Could measure curved, shouldn't it?
It's not. No, because you guys are always on about the measuring curve thing. I think that they, like, it's fine. I've never seen the thing be like, oh, it's like I'm perfectly accepting of the Earth is very big, therefore I don't see any curve.
Well, I mean, that's fine. There's a couple issues with that.
It would have to be, right? Like if I'm gonna be a globe,
it's fine. I mean, yeah, that's fine. It would be better to be a little bit more specific, and personally, in my opinion, just because it's not claimed to be just vaguely big. It's been given a very specific size that you can kind of break down. So it's like the same way with, like, your height, Kyle. Like, if someone asked you how tall you are, you wouldn't go, "Oh, I'm tall," or "I'm big," or "medium," or "small." You would just tell them specifically how tall you are. So, but I'm being a little specific here, hyper specific.
I don't understand.
Well, it's not like when you're like, well, the Earth is just too big, or it's so big. It's like, well, they're not. It's not claimed to be so big. I just wanted to clarify. No, it's not. Kyle, how tall are you, bro?
How big is it, Kyle?
I'm 6'5". No, I'm not.
Right. So like, that's not, you wouldn't say I'm big or I'm this or I'm that. You would just say I'm 6'5". So same thing with the globe. It's not claimed to be just vaguely big.
No, they have a specific size of the globe.
Yeah.
Do you know what that size is?
It's like 40,000 kilometers.
In circumference, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so from that you can work out drop over distance, yeah?
Yeah, I know I've heard this before, and I just don't think it's a compelling argument. I think that you do see things disappear over the horizon.
Well, there's a couple of things to unpack there. What you're saying?
If we showed you something, if we showed you something. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm just curious. You said the argument's not compelling. Just curious, like, what is the argument specifically that you're referring to?
So the fact that, like, usually the argument goes, you can't see the curvature, you should see a drop over distance, but you don't. But then you do see things go away, and they do seem to appear to be dropping. You do see just the tops of them. And those scenarios...
What if we showed you something disappearing over a horizon that wasn't supposed to be there? What would you say to that?
You mean reappearing?
No. Just took a little radio control boat, took it over I think it was 60 feet of water. Now, They drove the boat and it started disappearing from the bottom up. Now, there's not supposed to be any curvature there, but it still disappeared from the bottom up.
What?
So what would that then be if there was not supposed to be any Earth curve there? Why is it disappearing bottom up?
What do you mean? Is it sinking?
No.
Well, the whole point of boats is to not sink.
Yeah, I was going to say. I'm just sorry. Wait, you're trying to say that it's not like it was so close that it shouldn't have been disappearing bottom up, and so therefore it's something else is causing it to disappear bottom up.
I'm just posting a. Oops.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, the answer would be yes, right? It's not what people are claiming is causing it. People are claiming what it is a joke around and call it a hill of water. But essentially, they're saying it's a hump of water that's blocking the bottom of the boat.
Oh, someone already posted it.
It's not that. There are other reasons. Correct. But
so, Kyle, have a look in the live stream. Obvious it B posted the RC yacht observation from February 2023. If you watch that video, you'll see that RC boat disappear from the bottom up, and they give you the measurements of what curve there should be, and therefore things disappearing from the bottom up is not Earth curvature.
correct.
Because if you can show things disappearing from the bottom up when there is no curvature, then things don't only disappear from the bottom up due to Earth curve. Yeah,
Correct.
can you agree with that?
But like, okay. Like,
Well, take a look.
Yes
you,
or no?
you don't have to just auto
couldn't
accept.
you?
Take a look at the evidence first, but you don't have to just auto accept that. But the evidence is there if you want to take a look. I did want to correct something though quickly before we move on. Is the idea that we're saying you should see curvature? We're not saying that. It's just we're breaking down the math. You kind of are right to some degree that the Earth is quote unquote too big to see the curvature. It's not flat earthers saying that you should see curve, but you don't. We're not actually saying that. You'd have to be quite far away to see curvature, like very, very far away. You'll hear a globe earther say you should see curve before you hear a flat earther say that. But the point is it's not just about seeing this, because when I go to the beach and Kyle goes to the beach, we both look out at the water. I'm a flat earther. He's not a flat earther. We both see the same earth, the same water, the same ships. So we both understand that it's not like you're looking out, oh, I see curve. No, I don't. It's like we both see the same thing. So the point is that if it is curved, ultimately it has to measure to be that way. It's not about just looking curved. For ants on a beach ball, the beach ball still measures curved regardless of how it looks from your small perspective. I just wanted to highlight it. It's not flat earthers saying that you should see curvature. The math says you should.
I'm gonna try to string all the things together. It's not gonna work out well. I may have taken a weed gummy before I came here.
No worries.
Okay, so first idea, and I think we've come to some kind of agreement that the moon is something, and I'm taking the leap and assuming that the moon is an object. And so,
That seems fair.
Yep, and I think objects, as long as they are relatively near or relatively moving far away, they get smaller as they move far away. But the moon and the sun don't actually get smaller on the horizon. In fact, they appear to get bigger. And so as far as objects go, I think what's going on there is you have something of a illusion for why it gets bigger, but it really just stays the same size. And because it stays the same size, that proves that it's very far away. And in addition to that, you see that the light rays are parallel. Otherwise, you would get blurry shadows and never see very...
Quick correction, Kyle. We don't actually see parallel rays. What we see is diverging.
I think what you mean when you say that is that sometimes you see both.
No, he means you don't see that.
You never see parallel rays ever, and that's like a true statement from the sun always.
Have you seen parallel sun rays? That's what
I thought I did. Like I thought that's what I saw when I saw like really clear shadows.
Well, no, that's you seeing shadows, brother. We're asking about the parallel sun rays. So like
a clear shadow Like when you're in a city and you see a building and it's got a really sharp shadow, that's proof of parallel rays.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I
Kyle,
wouldn't
that's
say
proof of a close light source.
Because, like,
Yeah.
for example,
No,
I shine a light
but
on you. If I have
that's
a
the
flashlight and I get a shadow, are you saying like the flashlight has divergent light? So if I get a shadow from you based off of my light, that doesn't prove that the light came from. It's not parallel light rays.
No, but that's not what happens. A
Yes, it is.
flashlight,
You don't get a shadow?
a flashlight is very parallel.
No, it's
No, it's
not.
not. No, it's not.
Yeah, it
Divergent.
is.
Well, okay,
No,
Kyle.
it's
Let me
not.
say this real quick. In my research, from what I've learned, and shout out to what's Sasha's doppelganger? Gosh, I can't remember his name at the moment. Guys, help me out here. Sasha's other slow speaking guy.
Get,
Anyway, Gad Biget. He taught me that there are no collimated light sources. You can't, especially not even like a laser. Even laser beams have a divergent rate. The beam diverges, and they make collimators to try and keep the diversion down, but they still diverge. So all light sources, the beams diverge. They're not. There's no such thing as a collimated, perfectly parallel, straight light source, from my understanding. That's just what I've learned. So no, flashlights definitely don't fall into the category of parallel light. That's also divergent.
Okay, but like when you see like a spotlight, right? Like you ever see the spotlight that like it projects it on the clouds?
You mean like from the ground, a spotlight from the ground, or
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
you see
talking
those
about
those
that
lights in the
example.
sky and
Yeah.
they
I know
flicker
what you
back
mean.
and forth and fly
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
Take that example. How big is
Right here.
that spotlight when it's at the ground?
Like really, compared to how far the light travels, it's really small.
Yeah. So when it gets up into the clouds, is it bigger than it was when it was on the ground?
Yeah, it's diverging.
Yeah. So that's
you go.
divergent.
Oh, okay, but like I guess it's not okay. So it's not that the light doesn't diverge at all, because obviously all of the sun is a ball, and so it's going in all directions. It's just that
All of the sun is all.
Well, then that would be like rest in peace parallel light rays. That's kind of what it boils down to.
Yeah, it's coming out
What?
in a circle, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
Well, you're saying the sun is all. So that would say that
A ball.
It coming from a source of light. So
It's like a
light
sphere,
would be
like
coming
a ball.
out. The light would be coming out from all different directions, correct?
So they would not be
Yeah.
parallel.
No, you're right. But what we observe is that they're very parallel.
No,
Where?
I'm sorry. We
No,
don't
no,
observe
we don't.
that.
You're
don't
going around
observe.
in circles here, Kyle.
But like I don't think it's
You're
circles. I think
using
we just
you're
disagree.
using inferences to prove
Well-
parallel, whereas that's not what we're saying.
What you could
Well-
show then, you could post an example of what we do see if you're saying that we do
Yeah.
observe.
So what do we
Well,
see? What?
Well,
So
go ahead. Well, we don't see parallel light, but if you want to post, I'll give you some perms for a moment to post. If you have something to post to show you're saying that we do observe parallel light, I would like to see that, because I think the people in the panel are kind of starting to chime in saying, no, we don't observe that. What we do observe is divergent light coming from everything, lasers, light, flashlights, and the sun. These are all diverging beams. So if you want to show us, I'd love to take a look, but I'm definitely, what you're saying is in contention. The observing parallel light is at contention at the moment.
So okay, let me just figure out what the proof is there, because I thought that the shadows, just everyone kind of knew it.
There's no proof for parallel. It's been searching.
OB, your mic, I'm not sure, little grabbled there. Do you want to try that one more time?
I think I'm gonna have to fix it. Hold on.
That came through a little bit better. There's some memes here, guys. If you know the meme, that's the Eratosthenes indoors on a table. Maybe we would kind of talk to him about that, because from my understanding, from my research, it also works on flat surfaces as well. You can get the same effect with these certain shadows coming in at an angle with shadows from a 12 o'clock position with no shadow. You can get the same exact effect on a flat surface with a closer light source. I don't have the meme, guys, if you want to find that, but That's just what I found from my research.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the one you're talking about. Are you talking about the one that Mimes always brings up?
Yeah, the Mimes does. I was thinking of Mimes too. He does post this one a lot. It's a table. It's like, oh look, guys, there it is. Yeah. So you can get the same effect on a flat surface, and so parallel rays doesn't necessarily equate to the shadows, from my understanding. But,
I'm still waiting for Kyle. Are you going to post some parallel rays?
I mean, what I don't have is an inference that you guys can observe that you guys would just immediately agree with. So I'm still looking. I have a bunch of like I googled it, and like of course there's a bunch of like textbook references to it. But I don't think you guys are gonna just accept the textbook.
Yeah, I appreciate that because Google does.
Might as well just take a picture of a guy in the moon, right? Like,
well, I can appreciate you saying that because Google, if you do Google are light rays parallel, I think it pretty sure it does say yes they are. So we are looking essentially for evidence.
It says close enough to use them as parallel. Yeah. That's what it says. Yeah.
How's my mic now?
Much better.
Horrible, mate. You sound like shit.
Just a normal day then.
Yeah, we got you loud and clear though. If you want to chime in,
I was only going to say to Kyle. However, the coin drops regarding this, you're still going to have to go out and measure the surface to confirm it's curved. That's where it gets problematic for Globers, as we know.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I mean, people will say, oh, flat earthers are just looking and seeing it flat, which I would say is not true. We're going to the next step to test what we see. But the same thing goes with these inferences. Oh, well, you can infer off of this. Well, that's fine. We can take that inference, but we want to go out into the field and test and confirm or verify this inference. So it's important to kind of go the extra mile, not just flapping your eyelids at the ocean or flapping your eyelids at the moon either. So yeah, you kind of want to go into the stage of verification if you can.
Well, it's just another one of them topics that
Okay, what about
you'll conclude based on your bias, essentially.
Sure.
All the observations lean in the on the side of divergent light rays, but that doesn't matter. Globers will just say, no, you're just seeing it like that. It's actually parallel.
I kind of believe
we can go back and forth all day on this. That's why we go to actually measure the surface.
I kind of believe, though, that people are able to, have like a different opinion.
You can have a different opinion regarding objective reality, but it doesn't change the objective reality.
Sure.
You can pretend the sky is yellow all you want.
Yeah.
And we know there's a lot of pretend going on in the world right now.
Objective reality is important, and it's definitely good to get to the objective, but I don't know if it's like everything. Sometimes
That's a crazy statement, Kyle.
Sometimes it's just there's a certain objective reality where it's just everybody's got to be we're all human.
Well, yes.
How
you
long
can't be human unless you have an objective reality. But anyway, sorry, mate.
Maybe we're lizard people.
I was going to ask Kyle, how long will it take for your opinion to change the fact that water boils at 100 degrees C?
Jack all. It's not going to do anything to do that.
Well, then.
I mean, but isn't it really, think about what sort of creatures we would be if we really did create the flat Earth.
What?
The globe Earth, the globe Earth conspiracy.
Well, it's not the average human being that came up with this. It's a small group of people.
Oh, okay. So the average person is
for their
just
own
like,
agenda, which is for them to know.
is the average person like a sucker?
Well, most
I
people
would
don't
say
even
so, yeah.
know. Most people don't even know what the globe is.
That's the unfortunate truth. You have to kind of go the extra mile to know some of these claims. Like you were like 40,000 kilometers. Not everyone knows those claims. So is the average person a sucker? It might sound rude, but maybe a little bit. I was that person, although maybe a little bit more advanced. I knew the circumference, radius, etc. So most people don't know, like Timbo was saying. If you just took a random sample of 10 people off the street and you're like, hey, what is gravity? They would have mixed answers. They probably, not all of them would really know. Same thing. What size is the globe? There'd be mixed answers. They probably wouldn't know. So would you call them suckers? I would just call them, I don't know if I'd call them a sucker, but I would just say they're just.
Most people are disinterested is what they really are.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice that.
I think
People
our
make
whole
up-
modern world runs on gullibility, to be honest. So
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Pomp and
absolutely.
circumstance.
Absolutely.
You could do so many things. You just walk into a place and lie. But you know what? Like it doesn't actually work. Like if you get a really nice suit and you make a fake resume and you walk in and you look the part, they might hire you. But you'll still fail.
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about myself for a moment. Like I genuinely believed in the globe very strongly. I mean, like for people's birthdays, I would tell them, "Congratulations, you made it another trip around the sun." And I wasn't saying that as a joke. I wasn't joking, like mocking people. I genuinely believe that. And a lot of people, when I told them, they were surprised. They had never heard that before. And so I don't know if I would consider myself a sucker for believing such things. I believed it, and I genuinely did. Looking back now, even though I don't find those things to be true, I don't look back as like, oh, dude, you were such a dummy, or you fell for it, you were a sucker. What other option did I have? I mean, that was
yeah, it's exactly that, CB. You had no other option. It's as soon as like I saw the information regarding flat Earth and realized this is a viable alternative, and its evidence is far more solid than anything for the globe. Well, there's the alternative, and you move to it, But before you even knew of the information, because nobody was going out of their way to tell you, certainly not Google or anybody, all these science communicators, because they're not gonna. So you didn't know the information, you didn't know there was a viable alternative. But as soon as you come across the information, assuming you're a critical person and you're actually, loyal to truth over, tribalism and consensus, you move to it, because that's where the evidence points.
So I guess it's just like the world in which people believe in the globe, and then somebody decided to create the globe narrative to trick people. That world is a world in which they're constantly tricking people. It's just really sad.
This is not like some kind of revelation, Kyle. The majority of the world operates on illusions and lies.
I mean, like bridges
this is
and
just the
buildings are
grandest
not.
one that we're aware of. Oh yeah, of course. When it comes to engineering and anything that needs to be used in a practical matter, there's no room for messing around because lives are at stake. So that's why you've got documents from NASA and co. talking about how they use a flat and stationary Earth model when they construct their aircraft, essentially, when they're designing things, because that is the reality. That's what we live on.
But like, there are so many engineers who just disagree with that statement.
Yeah, they can disagree with it.
Like so many.
They'd be disagreeing with us.
They're the ones who are making the stuff. Like, well, don't you think that they would know?
There are some ex-engineers from NASA talking about flat Earth.
Okay.
I'm gonna post the book. Then you can see who did wrote that. Brad Salisbury, ex-US intelligence aerospace engineer. Yeah, and so on. There are people that did work at Antarctica. And at that time, they were Globers. And it is interesting that when they interview, before they go to work to that place, they ask this question: what is the shape of the Earth? Why they did this? They do this question.
Before what interview?
Before they go to work there to that place, they do a separate interview, and one of the questions is, what is the shape of the Earth? Maybe to avoid people like us, to go there.
I'm avoiding. Yeah, I'm not understanding the context. Like, is this like a polygraph test? Like, what is going on?
No, I'm just telling what is happening.
Okay.
So
here's a potential proof.
You did talk about engineers. I did post one book.
Maybe this is not a good proof. I'm sorry.
Oh, so those ex-engineers from NASA are what? Bullshit? Or you're talking?
Well, okay, but I'm pretty sure that there are engineers from NASA who also believe the Earth is a globe. So, like, maybe, because you're effectively saying, hey, what are these engineers bullshit? Well, some of them got to be if they're directly contradicting each other, yeah?
Well, yeah, you brought up the engineers, right? The other gentleman had mentioned that there are documents, NASA documents, military documents, Coast Guard, whatever, that strictly says to navigate the Earth as a flat stationary plane, right? Those documents would be created by engineers paid by those organizations. And so you mentioned, well, hey, how's that possible? Engineers do these things. Engineers say the opposite and would lie about this. And so the other gentleman pasted the book to show you, no, hang on, there are engineers who deny your claim. Just to kind of help.
But that's not how it should work, right? Like, how it should work is that they should come to a consensus. And if I was to go to any of those individual engineers and ask them, like I bet you the guy who wrote that down doesn't believe that the Earth is a flat plane.
You're making an inference. That's not a proof, though.
I'm not inferring anything. This is pure conjecture. Like, I don't know the guy, right? Like, the fucking
Bob.
Bob, the
NASA engineer.
Exactly.
Hey, but if you're going to negate what Bob is saying, you have to negate what all the others are saying.
Right, Bill.
I mean, you can't pick and choose your choices.
Hey, don't be sexist. Susie's an engineer.
No, this is a male-dominated field. Oh shit! We have to give.
I will let you know, having working on the weapon systems in the military, all of them use a flat plane, both in programs and when it comes to instructions. They all are using a flat plane. There is no Earth model used in any weapon system, weapons platform, firearm used on this planet.
That's insane. No way. And then they all believe
all you gotta do is sign away. All you gotta do is sign away 4 years of your life to get the proof of it and get the paperwork yourself.
What do you know? You join the military.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I had 8 years in the military, and all firearms, weapon systems on anything you name, tanks, aircraft, vehicles, everything uses a flat plane. Period.
But why do they use a flat plane?
Because that's what we exist in. If we used a globe, if we lived on a globe, they would use a globe model. Why not just use the globe model?
Probably because it's hard to calculate.
It's because you can't calculate.
It's too hard.
No,
That's
they
why we won't do
could
it.
calculate
It's too
a
hard.
sphere. Dude, my fucking video games make the Earth not flat, so
No, they don't.
yeah, they do.
Have
No,
you
they
not
don't.
played
All your
Minecraft?
games, the
What
world
is
you're
wrong with
playing.
you?
You're playing on an X flat plane. You have
Dude,
terrain.
when I
you have
die,
mountains and such.
you can go around the map and you can see that's curved.
Your entire map's not curved like a globe.
No, but it's got a little curve.
No, it's a flat. It's a flat X plane. Changes in terrain don't indicate a curve of the entire world.
Okay, you're right.
That's like saying, a mountain, if like a mountain leaned opposite of the angle that you're supposing your globe would be, that I could therefore then say, oh, this mountain disproves your entire theory, but that's not a fair thing. Mountains grow as mountains, just change.
I've got a question for
Just like
you.
in a video game, it's
Yeah,
still
what's
a
up?
flat plane whether you have mountains or rivers.
No, not you, Kyle. The military weapon systems guy. Sorry, I can't read
Yes.
your name.
Scare
I've heard. Oh, hey, Scare Bear. I've often heard. I'll say often. Over the last couple of months, I've heard a couple of globers claim that ICBMs prove globe model. In other words, that when firing at long range, that they do account for curvature. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I wasn't a nuke in the military, so that's not my specialty, so I would rather not speak on nukes and like ICBMs and stuff like that, just because I don't want to say something to be wrong or put bullshit out there. But I'll tell you from common sense wise and how we watch like small arms missiles and rockets launch, it's just a larger version, no? So why would it need to go up into the atmosphere or space whatsoever? If it has the fuel, it can literally just take an arc on a flat plane as well and just hit where it needs to hit. That's the most efficient and effective route.
Yeah, I'm wondering why they
Treat
claim
it like
that.
an artillery shell. I mean, it also depends on the type of what its purpose is, because now you have these hypersonic missiles. They're going to fly a different path. They're going to fly low to the ground, so they can't get hit or have countermeasures that are effective against them. Whereas ICBMs are going to take a large enough arc as they can to avoid, based on what they have. It'd be easier if I could have a piece of paper and write it out and show you and display it, just because I'm better at visual explanations.
Yeah, I think what I need to do is go find a glober that makes said claim and ask them to provide more detail on the
Well,
claim.
because the Glober's claim for an
curious how they
ICBM
say
is that
it.
it goes up into our that we fly it up, it goes into our, one of our Atmo, whatever kind of spheres you want, bullshit spheres you want to call it. And then it supposedly just cancels off, floats to a point where it's okay, rotates down, and then drops down. That none of those add up.
Mhm.
If it's supposedly going up into our orbit or leaving our orbit to a certain point, and then it comes down at that angle as it's designed to do, then if the Earth is moving, that missile's got a lot of it's got a lot of work it's got to put in to reach the point it's supposed to be getting at. Because if it's in our orbit, it should be going at its own speed and pace compared to where we are on the ground.
I've been out here for 7 years. I've never heard a Baltard claim that ICBMs prove the Earth is fucking sphere.
And hang on. This might be my ignorance, QE. Maybe it was long-range ballistic missiles. Maybe that's different? Okay. I definitely heard that. I want to say I think it was that Brian Myers guy on the Witsit debate, but I could be wrong. So I need to go look
Wouldn't
and see if it
matter.
was.
The Sea Sparrow Block 1 kills that
Yeah.
argument. And shout out to Miguel for posting that, by the way. And Miguel, I told you to go ahead and shit can that Navy railgun because they filed 13 the Navy railgun over a year ago.
Also, another thing to disprove
thanks.
any globe or curvature is if the FLIR cameras on any of our jet aircraft, which are the infrared cameras they use for targeting systems. They like he says with the Sea Sparrow, it would not be able to paint it or laser its target from its height and position to targets at the distance that we're hitting them at. It's just not possible.
Yep. Shout out to Eratosthenes. That's close to a copyright because I called Eratosthenes about 5 years ago. So you're dangerously close to a fucking copyright violation.
And I'm sorry, what was the name of the globe guy that was talking earlier? I didn't get to see your
Kyle.
Kyle. Yes. I didn't get to see your name pop up. Thank you. I didn't see your name pop up, so I was away from my screen.
He's a globe guy?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was the one that was asking us all these questions and stuff. Which I appreciate. He's coming here, he's talking, he's asking questions. Most people just come in, attack us, laugh, and leave. Like they're not here to actually like learn or try and understand stuff. Like you're making more steps and progress than anyone does. Whether you end up coming to this site or not, that's what's important. Is you're critically thinking about the information we're putting out to you.
I appreciate that. That was a very nice thing to say.
Yeah. All right. Do you know what a triangle is?
Yes.
And the nice part's over. I was good cop. Here's the terrible, horrible cop.
That's not true.
That's not true.
Terrible.
Quantum's like
Yeah,
Geneva
cop.
Convention, more like Geneva Suggestion.
Everyone tries to paint me as a fucking bad guy. What?
Be nice to
You're
Kyle,
not a
Kiwi.
bad guy.
I just gotta give you a little crap, Kiwi.
He's a peach.
This is a good intro.
No, Kiwi's fantastic. This man knows his like stuff back and forth. It's insane.
All right. So we all know what a triangle is, right?
Yes.
Yep. It's a three-sided polygon. It's got straight lines. And the most important property of a triangle, the angle sum property, all the angles add up to 180 degrees, correct?
Yes.
All right. So celestial navigation, they use elevation angles to successfully navigate the Earth. Do you know what an elevation angle is?
No.
Yeah, it's a right angle triangle.
Okay.
So the question is, how can you have a right angle triangle with a curved adjacent?
Because they're in space.
Say again?
Are they in space? Wasn't that the premise?
Space? No, space, no. Triangles, elevation angles.
What?
Elevation angles, what they do is they have a sextant, right? In celestial navigation, what they do is they take their sextant out and they sight in a known star or sun. And they make right angled triangles. That is, they know the position. If you have a naval almanac, they know the position of that star, the 90-degree angle of that star down to the Earth at date, minute, and any date and time group, right? So what you do is you get elevation angle. This is the first step in celestial navigation, is to acquire an elevation angle, which is a right angle triangle. Follow?
Yes.
So on a right angle triangle, the elevation angle is the hypotenuse. The 90-degree down from the star is the opposite. And the baseline is the adjacent of a triangle. My question to you is, how can you have a curved adjacent?
You cannot have a curved adjacent.
Okay, welcome to Flat Earth. Snacks are in the back. Bathrooms on the left. DJ spinning requests. Smoke them if you got them. Thanks for your time.
Okay.
That's it.
And I'll tell you, yeah. Go ahead, sorry, Kiwi.
No. It sounds simple, but that's it. It's over. You can't, as I'm going to try to be politically correct. As a Glober, your ideology prevents you from obtaining elevation angles. And that doesn't have, they don't have to be elevation angles to stars. They could just be any elevation angles. So, in particular, specifically, you must deny as a Glober the existence of the existence. You cannot comply with its existence. It's diametrically opposed to your worldview. It's over. It's that simple.
Sorry, I'm not following this. I don't really know how sextants work.
No, that's it. You really don't have to, because all they're acquiring are elevation angles. So elevation angles is the common denominator, right? So you can't have an elevation angle you can't have a triangle with any curved lines in it. None, zero. Can't do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, when Miguel just posted for you, Kyle, that last picture, and even his first one, like what he's showing is, the sextant's use and its creation. Everyone at that time, at the time of its use and creation, believed in a flat level plane Earth. So that means that where you're traveling on your boat, you're sitting on your boat, and you and your homies are sailing across the world, right? That plane you're traveling on using the sextant, a level flat plane is required for it to work. So therefore, like, a curve cannot be possible, no matter how big, small, whatever you want to say the curvature or how big the Earth is. It will not work with the sextant. It's impossible. Because, and that's what
Is this
he's
how
trying to
fucking
look.
sextants work?
Yes, the entire bottom flat part of your triangle, and it has to be a triangle with the sextant to work, is a flat plane. And it could be, your point A to B, doesn't matter how far or close, those 2 points are still a straight line, and that's required to make a sextant work.
So because okay.
Are you in?
I think I would have to draw this, and I don't want to draw
Are you
it.
in live stream? You live stream voice text?
The text, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, at 48 minutes after the hour, I put so many. I can put 50.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. these are all-
Yeah.
No, just click on them. They're all elevation angles.
Okay.
The last one.
And if you notice, yeah.
I took some artistic liberties.
I'm playing a video game right now. I download the first one. I'll download the last one next.
So as you can see, the important.
If it's not a penis, I'm going to be really disappointed.
No, you don't have to worry about what the sextant does. Don't worry about that. Or what the sextant is and how it works. What it does is, this is clearly established, is you use it to acquire elevation angles. So that's the common denominator. Now you go, what the hell is an elevation angle? That's the next question, right? And it's a right angle triangle, as all my support here designates or shows or demonstrates. It's a right angle triangle. There's no way to get around it.
Yes.
You see?
No, I completely got you.
Okay. See, was I that terrible?
It's horrifying. My whole
It is-
worldview changed.
It's horrible.
Only because we called you out first. Only because we called you out first. That's the only reason you were nice.
This is probably true. I don't know you, but yeah. If someone goes, "You're terrible," you're gonna be like, "No, I'm not."
Creation Bear has to be in here with that shit.
Yeah, I'm listening. You again when I was out.
Yeah, thanks, man. Hey, so it's really simple. Yeah, and then people say, "Oh shit, this is really simple. How can this even be true? If it's that simple, we got really smart people. They wouldn't they have figured that out a long time ago?"
Yeah, but dude, I thought sextants weren't good. I thought sextants weren't the actual thing. They were always sextants kind of suck.
And I know a lot of the math.
I used to think when I was a little kid, I used to think sextants were how they did all their navigation and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, cool." And I didn't know how they worked, but I thought that's what they did.
I didn't either. I like the name.
You also like the saxophone.
So I don't want to go away from this point because it's simply, unless you, like I said, you would have to deny not only the sextant because there's other instruments used to acquire elevation angles. I'm just using celestial navigation because they still teach it and use it to this day. That's the only reason why I used it. But any elevation angle that you try to acquire you can't do it as a glober. You can't even, like I said, the sextant. It's like bringing up fair trade to a communist.
They're like, "What? We don't believe in money, and you want fair trade? Bullshit."
Yeah, we can't. If I was to bring up soybean futures to a communist, they're diametrically opposed.
Soybean futures, we do. God damn it! I can't do a Russian soybean future. I'm high.
Yeah. So this is really heavy stuff, man.
Russian soybean futures.
Nah, I'm sorry for bringing that up. I don't want to get. That's what I'm saying. It's an analogy in comparison to globers with elevation angle measuring devices. In this particular case, it's a sextant. But like I said, there's many instruments that you can use. However, in this particular case, It's an either or situation. Either sextants and elevation angles exist, or a sphere tart exists. That's it. It's that simple, man.
I don't know why this is so funny.
It's that simple, dude. I'm telling you this. That's why it's so cool. Now, I can go on and on with flat earth proofs till the cows come home. In fact, I got a website that goes, like 7 deep, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, 4, 5, 6, step by step. I don't really need it, even though this proof is on it. I can just prosecution rest right here. That's it.
I have a question about celestial navigation, QE.
Is it past elevation angles?
I think so.
Why would you ask it then?
Okay. Well, and this kind of came up last night. Ruhif popped back in late last night, and
that
Flatsy
weasel popped up late.
Yeah, Flatsy and
Yeah, he waits till the big hitters go to bed, and then he likes to try and pop in and bully the newer people.
Flatsy and Timbo decided to throw me to the wolves, or the wolf.
Go ahead.
Or,
I can't wait to hear this shit.
but I was doing pretty good. Talking about the elevation angles and needing to have a flat baseline, yada yada. But I don't understand height of eye correction versus
Don't
depth
worry about
correction.
it. Don't worry
Don't
about
worry
it.
about it.
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
you worry your pretty little face.
It's a dip angle correction. We could talk a little bit about it. So it's called dip angle correction, but actually it's a height of eye correction, and I could debunk their horse shit because they don't know what dip angle is because they're numpty dipshits. So, in my famous one, you might already know, is Rubber Ducky Life Preserver.
Yeah.
Because it makes them look like fucking idiots, right? So they all say, oh, yeah, it takes in refraction. They don't even know what refraction is. Takes in refraction is dip angle, the dip angle, the horizon, it dips. No. So what you do is when somebody brings up dip angle, you ask them this question. Let's say you're on a ship. You pull out your sextant and I don't know, a Titanic fucking wave comes by. It jars the ship, knocks you off. You have the sextant in your hand. Before you go over the rail, you snatch a Rubber Ducky Life Preserver. And there you go. You're in the fucking water in your Rubber Ducky Life Preserver. And my question then is, when you make a sextant observation, is there any dip angle correction in a Rubber Ducky Life Preserver? And of course the answer is no. So, therefore, all their refraction and all their fucking bullshit talking about dip angle, they don't even know what dip angle is. Like I said.
So they're using the dip correction to try to get away from the flat baseline. Is that right? And
I don't know.
The life preserver.
They're just doing it. I don't know why. You're going to have to ask retards why they do shot.
How does a sextant actually work, though? Couldn't you look at it at different angles and see the same thing from different angles?
Look at what at different angles? The sextant or what you're looking at?
Yes.
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 That's not
when you look through a sextant, can't you see different angle? Can't you make the same object appear at different angles?
No. Fuck no.
What?
Well,
Yeah,
unless
sure.
you wait. Unless you wait for 10 minutes or something. No. You have to go. No. You don't know how sextant works. But that's okay. It's not a problem.
I don't. I don't understand it.
I used to have a gift that showed it, but I lost that fucking thing.
I would take a gift. Give me a gift.
Gift. Don't worry about it. It's an elevation angle measuring device. It's all over. Did I answer your question on dip angle, by the way?
No,
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you'd have to scroll back to like midnight last night to see the pictures he was posting, right? Where it shows some dude on the ball looking down at the geographical Earth curve, I suppose, is what he's trying to get to, right? And so, yeah, like his eyesight is going down to the curve on the ball or whatever.
I don't know. Have you ever looked down at the horizon?
Blind spot. Blind spot. Dip angles require flat baseline too.
Well, that's when I looked at the picture, what was weird is because I was talking about obviously the GP of the star that you're observing with sextant is at 90 to, or it's at 90 to the star. The star would be at the GP zenith, right, and that can be obviously way beyond the horizon, right? It can be hundreds, if not thousands, of miles away. And so you have to have that flat baseline to get there, and that's when he started bringing up the dip correction part.
It doesn't.
I just didn't understand what it was. Yeah,
that's what they have to. What he has to do is he has to dip into dip angle correction because the elevation angle kills him. It's all over the elevation angle. Just hold right there. Don't chase idiot red herring fallacies. Let the professionals do that. Even I don't do it. I just bring them right back to the elevation angle. It's over. If you walk into it, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen here. Everyone knows, not everyone, but if you ask a professional what an elevation angle is, like a professional academic, they fucking know what it is. It's a right angle triangle. Like I just showed you 25,000. I could put another 1,000 in there, but I didn't. I figured it was redundant. If you even say curved adjacent, they're gonna look at you like you got 35,000 heads. That if you state it in text, they'll stop. It's like saying married bachelor. It's non sequitur. It voids the whole argument. It's fucking stupid. No one will ever. If you ever hear curved adjacent and you talk to a professional, I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. They're going to say, "What the hell are you talking about?" Because it doesn't exist. It can't. Follow?
Oh yeah, no, that's all clear. I just didn't know what height of eye correction and dip correction were.
Simple. Yeah. Simple. Height of eye correction is just how it sounds. It's the height of your fucking eye. That's why I put you in a rubber ducky life preserver. As soon as I do that, then it doesn't matter. You don't.
So when a navigator is using a sextant, let's say this evening, right on the ocean, and they're on a ship, and they're at whatever, I don't know, 15 meters elevation from the surface of the water.
They do it before they even leave harbor.
But let's say they're lost and they're out at sea or whatever. I'm asking, when do they do the height of eye correction? Or do they?
Listen. If you're a navigator on a ship, you know how tall the ship is above the surface of the water. They already know it before they leave.
Right.
They don't do any. That's height of eye correction. It's the height of your eye above the deck. Sorry.
Right.
Surface. So you're not confused.
No, I'm with you. And so when do they make that correction during their measurement process? That's what
during the measurement. It doesn't matter. As soon as they get the elevation angle, it's fucking over. For our purposes.
What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.